Hello! Welcome to day 2 of True Nature Through Nature, reconnecting with our authentic self. And this is actually our first day where we're going to start going through the 54 senses. So, super exciting day. So, first of all, I want to make sure that you have your pen and journal. And before you start, go ahead and pause this video if you haven't yet done this. Before you start the activity today and listen to my thoughts for you today, just go ahead and open up your journal and note down between 1 and 10, 1 being awful, you didn't want to drag yourself out of bed to join me here today, but thank you if you did, to a 10, which is you're feeling vibrant and fantastic. So between 1 and 10, how are you feeling today? What's your mood? And then go ahead and also note down just whatever you feel to note down about your experience for today, whether that be a problem you're perceiving, things that are great, just anything you feel to write down, please go ahead and do that. So go ahead and pause and do that if you haven't done that yet. Okay, so let's talk really briefly about the foundation of this course. The foundation of this course are natural attractions. So we're going to be developing a sense in ourselves about what we find naturally attractive. So we're going to be listening to our bodies and just listening to that feeling of attraction towards an area or an item, whatever we're working with that week. So this means what is attractive to us personally. We're not looking for something that necessarily would make a fantastic photograph or a great scene for a painting. We're just looking for, do we feel a feeling of attraction towards a certain area? So this is going to work in this course for us to really start learning all of those senses, but it's also going to work in the bigger picture of our life where we're really noticing what our body's telling us, what we're feeling attracted towards, and what we're feeling attracted away from or towards a different direction. So just keep in mind that that's going to be the foundation of this course. We're going to be building on that. If that sounds weird or doesn't make sense to you right now, no worries. We have 54 days and it's going to be amazing. You're really going to get a foundation in this. So it's so important and so exciting. So a natural attraction in this course, what we're talking about are natural nature attractions, wild nature attractions. So that can be anything from a spider on your ceiling. I have a very nice one up there right now. It can be a potted plant in your house. Anything from that to going out for an actual hike in nature and sitting with your shoes off, with your feet in the dirt under a tree. So anything that you can manage for the day when we're doing the natural attraction work, whatever works for you can work. Now, the more that you can get yourself physically enveloped in the experience, physically in nature, the more physiological and psychological benefits you're going to reap from the activity and from the course overall. So if you have the ability to go out and take a hike, sit under a tree, lay in the grass, that's beautiful, and you're going to get a lot more good out of it. But if the best you can do, say you are bedridden, and I hope you're not, but if you are, and the best you can do is look at the view outside your window of perhaps a tree, if there's something natural out there, a tree, a hillside, grass, a lawn, anything like that. Or if not, if you have a potted plant, if you have even a bouquet of flowers, or maybe some dried leaves, any wild natural being, item will work for you. Like I said, the more it's an actual experience where you're more physically in contact with nature, obviously the better it's going to be. So if you think about your best friend, it's great to see a picture of your best friend. It's great to see a drawing of your best friend. It'll probably give you some good feelings and and be a good experience. If you see a video of your friend, that's even better. If you can Zoom with your friend live, that's even better. But if you can actually spend time with your friend, that's the best, right? And you get the most benefit out of that and the most enjoyment and the most reciprocal enjoyment too. Because if we're out in nature and we're actually sitting under, for example, a pine tree, we're actually breathing in the compounds that the tree's emitting that we evolved with, and those compounds are actually beneficial for our lungs and for our nervous system. So for that reason, if we can actually be in the space, grounding our feet, earthing, that is obviously the most beneficial. Okay, you get it. So whatever you can do on that day, the best you can do on that spectrum, I say go for it. A lot of times I will go and sit outside just on the lawn in front of my apartment and lay on the grass and look up at the trees and take my shoes off. So I'm in contact with the earth, and I'm able to actually physically be in the space. If I can't do that, I'll take a look outside my balcony. I have a view of a tree outside actually every one of my windows. So just, you get the idea, do the best you can on that day. So let's get into the sense for today. Our first sense, okay, number one from our 54 natural senses and sensitivities. This again is from a book called Revolutionary Wisdom by Michael Cohen and Stacy Mallory. So the first sense, we're going to go, there are groups of senses. I'll give you those right now. There are the radiation senses, the feeling senses, the chemical senses, the mental senses. And then there are, that's basically all of the categories. There's another category that's sort of the core of organic psychology, but we'll go into that later. So first of all, we're going to start with the radiation senses. There are 9 senses, and what I'm going to do is for the thumbnail of each one of these radiation senses will be the same. And then when we switch to the feeling senses, the thumbnail will be the same. So you can see them grouped in that way. So today, drum roll, our sense for today is a sense of height and sight, including polarized light. So this might be the most obvious one you'd think to start with, right? Actual sight, actual seeing things, including a sense of height. So, and just so you know, I really quickly looked up to make sure I knew what polarized light is. And polarized light is when, light generally disperses everywhere. But if it hits a bright, flat surface, it will basically, the light waves will go one direction rather than multiple directions, and it produces glare, basically. So when you're wearing polarized sunglasses, you are reducing the glare by reducing the direction, the number of directions that the light is going in. Okay, not being a physicist, there's your explanation of that. So for example, today, I meant to be outside today, but I had some technical things happening. So I'm actually just in my regular place, but outside my window here, I'm just going to share with you, is a beautiful tree. So what I'm going to do today for my natural attraction is I'm going to sit outside here on my little bench, and I'm just going to kind of gaze at this tree, and because I feel naturally attracted to that today. It's very beautiful, it's green, there are actually squirrels running around, there's a nice breeze out there. It's not me actually touching the tree or touching the ground, so it's not ideal, but it's going to work for me today, and it feels really attractive to me to be out there. So I was just noticing that earlier as I was kind of puttering around the house and noticing I felt really attracted to go sit out there today. So I'm going to go do that, and what I'm going to be noticing specifically today is actually what I'm seeing with my eyes, which is one of our better known senses, so that's not an issue at all. But I'm going to be noticing the height, and what I've already noticed is the tree, I didn't really look at the height before, and it's so tall, it's like really high up there in height in comparison to what else is happening out there too with the roof line and that kind of thing. And then I already noticed some polarized light happening off of my white chairs. So I'm just noticing that my system has the ability to pick up and process those senses: height, sight, and polarized light. That rhymes. So that's the sense we're going to tune into today, and just notice what you feel attracted to naturally. And that may be the biggest exercise for you today, is just kind of tune in, go, what looks good for me to look at and sit next to for a few minutes. And then just notice that sense of really, really be present and look at what's actually in front of you, and notice the sense of height and polarized light as well. So then after that, I'm going to suggest that you take out your trusty journal again, write a new 1 to 10 number after you've spent, I suggest, at least 15 minutes out there if you can, and then do your 1 to 10 number, and then maybe take a few notes about your experience regarding that sense. So thanks for being here today, and I hope you have such a connected day today, and I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for making the world a better place. Bye.